Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to use clutch control properly to roll up and out of junctions correctly. This is without doubt the single biggest thing that driving instructors teach incorrectly, and that's why for years and years and years and years and years running, junctions observation has been the number one thing that people fail driving tests on. So let's get the car started and I'm going to show you how to do it properly. I'll show you how to practice this yourself. And I'm going to describe the knock-on effect it can have on your driving and why it's so vital you get this correct. So first of all, what's all this about? Well, let me show you how most driving instructors teach how to come out of junctions and why it's so poor. And if you don't know, I've been a driving instructor for over 20 years. I've taught over 1,000 people to drive. I've trained hundreds of driving instructors, and I'm also a hypnotherapist specialising in driving anxiety. So I know all about this. I know what I'm talking about. And I've trained hundreds of people who have come to me from other schools having been taught rubbish. So let me show you how it needs to be done. So imagine looking ahead, you can see there are some black bin bags on the left there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to roll up to those and I'll show you how, this is how you don't do it first of all. This is what many driving instructors teach. When you get to a junction, they teach people to just stop, sit on the brake, now wait till nothing's coming, lift your clutch with your brake on and then go. As I've said before in other videos, if you are being taught to sit on the brake and lift your clutch, change your driving instructor immediately. That is a sign of someone who hasn't got a clue what they are doing. Okay, this is how you're supposed to do it. Imagine those black bin bags at the end of the road. So I look around, I do my gas clutch, it's the end of the road, so I'll go clutch down, brake off before I stop, gas clutch creep. Notice I'm still moving, but I'm not going out of the junction. I can look, take effective observation, which will avoid you failing on junctions observation, and then go. How easy is that? The main thing to get is that you must come off the brake before you stop. So imagine that next bin bag on the left is at the end of another road. There's no one around, so I'll go over the rest of the things soon, but I'll do clutch down, brake, don't stop with the brake, brake off before you stop, gas clutch, creep. See the car still active? It's what you call being active. You're ready to go, ready to pounce. I'm looking. Now if I really can't go, if it's really busy, I can just stop. The point is, many points to go over on this. It's okay if you stop. I'm not saying you have to go, because people always say when you teach this, oh, but you're saying I've got to go. What if I can't go? That's dangerous. You're saying I've got to go every time. No, I'm not saying you've got to go. I'm saying don't just stop. You may be able to see on the screen at the bottom there is a drain cover on the left there. I'm just going to wait for this car to go, and I'm going to creep up and do, well, I won't creep up, I'll do this one incorrectly. This is how most people teach to do it. Get there, stop, and there's nothing coming, and you just stop. Right, you either lift the clutch with the brake on, no, wrong, don't do that, or you do a handbrake, brake off, gas, and the examiner's thinking, why haven't you gone? There's nothing there, and you think, oh, I can go. Right, stay my pedals, too late, you've already messed up. Junctions observation. You're not taking effective observation of the junction, not because of that, as I've said in other videos. If you don't know, and this comes from my work as a hypnotherapist, the problem is never the problem. If you fail on junctions observation, it actually isn't your junctions observation that you need to work on. And as I mentioned in that video, if you fail on parallel parking has nothing to do with parallel parking. It's because of other things, and that's the end result. So junction observation, it's the end result of other things not being correct. So this is your problem. You think's the problem. The causes are down here. One of these things isn't proper, isn't lined up properly. It's wrong. You fix this, like your clutch control, then this fixes itself. So the problem is never the problem. And people who have a fear of driving, they haven't got a fear of driving. I've helped hundreds of people overcome the fear of driving. It's never been caused by driving. So you don't have to go. Imagine, I hope you can see on the screen where the road changes colour just in front of me. Imagine that is the end of the road. So I check, go. What I would do is clutch down, don't stop, roll, gas clutch creep, gas clutch creep, clutch down, gas up, gas down, clutch up, creep. So your feet are working the opposite of each other. One goes down, one goes up. See, I'm creeping, I'm ready to go. At any time, I can just go. Compare that to stop, clutch up with the brake on, go, stop, no, car coming, oh, there's a car coming, go, stop, go, stop, go, stop. That is how most driving instructors teach. I just don't know what these instructors are thinking. And I know because I've trained hundreds of them. Again, I've been in the industry for well over 20 years. I cannot believe the poor standard of teaching out there. That is what people teach. No wonder so many people fail the driving test. I'm not saying you have to go. The point is that by rolling up, it allows you every opportunity to go. If you really can't go, then you stop. And why is that not wrong? Let me show you. Imagine I get to a junction and I've done my rolling and creeping, and I've crept and I really can't go. It's really, really, really busy. There's no chance of going. Then you stop, handbrake if you need it, because you're not missing a chance because you can't go anyway. But what you mustn't do is just get there and go, right, stop, handbrake. There's nothing coming. The examiner's thinking, why aren't you going? And I've seen people at so-called test standard, according to some instructors, looking at the feet, right, do my pedals, set the pedals, and they're looking down here. And the examiner's thinking, there's nothing coming. And you get marked down, and marked down, and marked down, and you fail on Junctions observation. Because you don't just stop. Let me get driving now and show you it on a junction at the end. Great example because there's a vehicle parked quite close to the end. So third gear, about 20 odd miles an hour, I'll do mirrors, signal, brake, clutch, leave the gear, don't rush it, steer, then gear, in most cases. Steer, gear, off the brake, roll, 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 gas, clutch, creep, do not brake. Everybody always wants to go brake. You've messed the whole thing up now, because if you come off the brake, the car will hold you still for 2.5 seconds, then you roll back. If you put the handbrake on, when you're doing, you're messing around with all this. I could have gone. I check and I go. You don't just stop, and I just can't stress this enough. If you are being taught to stop, that is terrible. There is only one time you have to stop, one place. Where's that? If I remember, I'll tell you later in the video. So I go into this road, and I filmed another one around here not long ago. So I enter this road, and it doesn't matter if you do brake, clutch, brake, because the speed's so low. Brake first is normally best, but the speed's so low, doesn't matter. Don't rush the gear, wait. Now you do one, then use it. Stop braking. Loads of learners when I go brake, stop. They keep braking all the time. You don't have to keep braking. Think of it like this, the brake is to slow down, not to stop. Okay, now yes, you can stop, but you don't need to all the time. Now I do handbrake on one, because I'm transferring from reverse to forwards. So I'll go, end of the road. I don't just stop, mirrors, signal, clutch down because the hill does the work. I don't even need to brake at all, maybe. No, steer, gas clutch, there's a car coming, creep, gas clutch, go. I didn't even need to brake. Was it bad? People say, oh, but the car's behind. Wouldn't know you were braking, slowing down. What car's behind? There's no one there. I checked my mirrors, I knew that, that's why I didn't do it. That shows, again, observation. You don't have to necessarily brake to slow down as long as no one's around. You don't have to brake. Now I do, because if I do clutch down, I'll go faster down the hill. So I'll brake a little bit, and I'm going to turn around here. There's no one around here. Did that van just come in? Nope, he passed. I passed the road. So I roll, stop, handbrake on, to allow me to set the gas, the clutch. There's no one around here, but it's a very quiet area. And then going back, again brake. Now if you're very quick, you don't have to do the handbrake, because when you're really used to it, you can go brake off, gas clutch, go. And you can spin the wheel, notice I'm doing that. People say, oh, you fail for doing that, and you don't. You can do that. You're not going to fail. Those are people who don't know what they're talking about. You fail if you cross your hands on the wheel. You don't. You haven't for decades. Mirrors, signal, clutch down, don't brake. No need to brake, no one behind me. No one's going to need to see brakes. No one there, creep. Go. Off you go, easy. No, there's someone behind, so I'll go. That allows me to get on with it. Great example. I did not slow down the car behind, because the van behind, because I used a method that allowed me to get on with it. I wasn't just crawling, sitting on the brake with the clutch. Rubbish. And again, if you hear a noise when I move off, you might have heard like a say, noise. Again, I'm always honest in my videos, I don't hide anything. That noise is because this has been a learner car for over 7 years. Think of all the hundreds of different people that have driven this car, and people abuse the clutch by doing it incorrectly, like this. They sit on the brake, and they go clutch with the brake on, and that makes the clutch strain. It's something called the clutch linkages. I'm not a mechanic, but I had explained to me once by a mechanic. Don't do this. You can do brake one, brake off, let the hill assist hold it for you, gas clutch go. Yes, you can do that, but the problem is if I just pull up here, it's no other answer, I'll pull up here. This car, in all casting since I think it's 2011 in the UK, have a thing called hill assist. Notice the car lifts up. When you come off the brake, for 2.5 seconds, the car will hold the brakes on for you to allow you to do the gas and the clutch. That's why it's gas clutch. And I've done many of the videos on gas and clutch. Do check those out, and clutch control in general. So you can stop with the brake, you can, and if you know the hill assist is going to work, you can come off the brake, set your gas, clutch and go. The problem is in this car in particular, there is no light that shows you the hill assist is going to come on. So sometimes it doesn't now, it is working now, most times it does. But I have had times where I go to use it and it's like this. I'm faking this now, imagine I just said if I come on a bend I don't fake things. Imagine I've got the brake on, I come off and I think the car's going to hold still. It doesn't. I never use that system. Hold still. You can hear a slight zzz in the background, it comes off when it's going to come off. But I don't do that because I don't trust that system. So what I do is I do mirrors, signal, no need to brake again because I'm going uphill. Clutch down, gas clutch, creep, 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 creep. Go. Don't just do this, don't just stop. Oh, there's no one there. Rolling back, see, didn't work. Great example, the hill wasn't big enough. That's why you get more down in Junctions observation. So let me go down this road and I'll show you again how to actually practice. The key thing is to come off the brake before you stop. But down the hill, of course, great chance to show you this. No other answer, no signal needed. If this was the end of the road, these bin bags, you don't need to do that. You'd stop with the brake. And people say, but you said I've got to be off the brake before stop. Not here, because you're down a hill. So if you're downhill, you can just what we call play with the brake. Brake on, brake off, clutch stays down, brake on, brake off, roll, and then go. That's fine. You can do that because you're down a hill. So you don't do clutch control down a hill. That's when you do with the brake on, off, on, off. The problem is some people do that uphill and on flats. Now mirrors, braking, I'm ready to hold back, you go to the bus, whatever comes round. No, off I go, ready to hold back still. No, off I go. But the key thing is, and again, I've done other videos on why instructors don't teach this. Go and check that out, my gas and clutch video. So the main reason people don't teach it comes down to often they don't know, the knowledge is poor. They don't even understand why you have to do gas and clutch or why not brake and clutch. Or they're just lazy and I can't be bothered to keep saying it, because even though I teach this, people often don't do it. But a good instructor doesn't give up just because a people keeps doing it wrong. So mirror signal, brake, clutch. Imagine there's bin bags at the end of the road. First gear, brake, off, roll, 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 gas, clutch, creep. See how much spare time I've got? It shouldn't be rushed, it shouldn't be. Let's check around and go now. Imagine the next bin bag on the left is the end of the road. This is how people do it because they're learning. I'm not taking the mick at people, I know they're learning. But people do it like this. They do right. Mirror, signal, brake, clutch, one brake off, gas, clutch, brake on, yeah. And they panic. Because they're learning. I know they're learning. It's easy for me to do this. I've been doing this for decades. This is all in my subconscious. Getting being a hypnotist is what gives me a big advantage as a driving instructor, because I understand that good driving is done subconsciously. You don't drive thinking about it, do you? Ask anyone who's been driving for a while. You do it on autopilot. People think, well, I don't even know how I'm driving. When you become a driving instructor, you have to learn how to undo that, because you've got to know how to explain to these things. So I do it subconsciously, but I help people to push it into their subconscious. So at the end of the road, we're going to go left again. Notice, I'll get up to 30 if I can. Note we've got time. Notice how slow I do it, how calm it is. Mirrors, signal, brake, clutch, steer, check again, steer, gear, brake off, roll, wait, gas, clutch, off I go. See how calm it is. And if you do that, as I mentioned in the other video I filmed around here, nothing will impress a driving test examiner more than someone who is driving calmly and confidently. They will sit there, and I've had examiners say to my pupils, wow, that was good driving. And they don't always say that, trust me, they don't say that to everyone. And I said that was really, really good driving. Positive, confident, not stop, dither, shake, or brake, clutcher, brake off, go, stop, go, handbrake. No. Right, you've got to do this. So let's go second left. So mirrors, signal. I don't do it here. This is different when you get into a road. It's brake, clutch, 2, pedals up. Before you turn in, your pedals should be up and ready. Bus is there, so I roll. Do I need to stop? No, so I roll. See how calm that is? Third, calm, roll, calm. It should all be calm. If you're driving like this and it's all fast and rushed or panicked, that's what you call a reactive driver. And again, many people think they are good drivers when they're just reactive drivers. People drive fast and swerving and braking and swerving, change, stop, I'm brilliant, I know everything, I'm great, best driver ever, best reactions ever. The fact you're reacting shows you're rubbish, because it means you're waiting for something to go wrong, then reacting to it. Whereas a truly great driver wouldn't do that. You see things coming in advance. So I'll go right, there's some other roads. Brake, clutch, second, choose it, use it, that means get your feet off, back on the gas, accelerate into the road, ready to hold back, but I can pass this car, round and go. There's a dog there, so I'm saying second, braking. Is he on the lead? No, he's just standing still. So I'm braking, ready with the clutch. My foot was ready, but I didn't need it. In that case, it wouldn't have mattered if I'd stalled, because no one was close behind me at all, so that's fine. Again, planning ahead. End of the road, I'll go left again. Mirrors, signal. Now on this one, it's so open, I can just go. I don't even need to stop. I can see loads, no one there, no for a long way. So off I go. If you're stopping there, not good. Even if you're rolling up, it's not bad, but that's why people fail for junctions observation. But what other problems can this cause? Loads, right? If you don't have your clutch control good, you won't be able to bay park, parallel park, do traffic lights, because you roll up to lights again. If that black car was at light going red, I would brake, slow down, wait for it to change, and go. You don't just get to a red light and stop. Here I can get through, but if I couldn't, I would roll and creep up to that van. I'll show you that on another road. If I go this way, I'm just going to simulate this. So pretty much this is the glue that holds driving together, and if you can't do this, everything will fall apart. And this is one of the main things people fail the test on. Now there is no box that says rolling up, did you do clutch control? That's why people don't think they failed on it. But clutch control is what's behind the thing you failed on. Okay, what you failed on is a symptom, the clutch control is the root cause. This truck, for example, van, truck, whatever, brake, clutch, 1. Imagine I'm giving way to cars. Roll, 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 shows vehicles behind you intend to go. If you just stop dead and people start going around you, well, you've told them to go around you because you've stopped. You're not supposed to just stop. This car, imagine I can't go, there's no one behind me, so I can show you. Brake, clutch, 1, brake off, roll, 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 stop or go. And if you stop at that point because you really can't go, that's fine, because you couldn't go. Let me show you a bit of parking. I'll just do a very quick bit of parallel parking there. I'll pull up. Why do people fail the parking? Because they don't have good control. This is downhill, so not the best example, but I'll do my steering, checking around, notice I'm keeping the car controlled, low speed control, and I'm doing clutch down, braking a bit because I'm down the hill, so you can do that as we mentioned before. Notice I'm not doing stop, handbrake, move, stop, stop, stop. I'm not stopping, I'm carrying on. I'm checking, going around, steering, round I go. And there you go. And I could have done it better again. I cross my hands on the wheel. You can do that. Cross your hands on the wheel. Oh no, I failed my test because I'm crossing my hands on the wheel. No, you haven't. Because you're not marked on that. The end result of the parking is what matters. Not crossing your hands on the wheel. So I just crossed my hands there, messed it up deliberately to show you. You can get further back than this. Right, I've got on this, I'm going back and back. You can finish here and still pass your test. That far back from a car, the parallel parking. This video is not about parking, but I'll check signal because I can't see that well ahead. I'll go, I'll creep, see around the car, there's a van behind me, it's fine. Off I go. Easy. If you don't do your clutch control well, you will have no end of problems when you drive after passing, if you even pass. Brake, clutch, 1. Roll, the car from the right, brake off, roll, gas, clutch, go. I'm going to pull over here, that van's going the other way. See awareness, I know what the van's doing before they've even got there. So if you want to practice this, this is how you practice clutch control. If you want to practice this, find a hill, and you need a car, of course, and someone to supervise you. So, you imagine our lamppost on the left is the end of the road. I'll go to 1, check around, I'll signal left to show I'm not going to go too far. You do gas, clutch, feel the pull, handbrake off. When you get there, clutch down, roll, gas, clutch, hold still, creep a little bit. It's good not to be dead still, because that can damage your car. If it's dead still like that, there's no movement, it can damage it. So creep, but if you do that, it's very good. Down, gas, clutch. Down, gas, clutch. Again, there are some extreme examples of this I've mentioned in other videos. There's one test, I think it was in the army used to do a test, I think it was, where they'd put a matchbox under your tyre and you had to hold it still with gas clutch for, I think it was 5 minutes. I don't know how the clutch didn't blow up, but that was one test you had to do in the army. And there's one for when you drive, I think it's driving the royal family. It's a slightly different thing, but they put a, what do you call it, a flute, is it, of champagne, you know, like a champagne glass, on the bonnet of a car. I think it's like a Rolls Royce, so it's a flat bonnet. And you have to brake and stop without spilling a single drop of the wine or water, whatever it is, in the glass. And if you spill any of the wine or water, you can't drive the chauffeur for the royal family. We're not quite doing to that standard. Because imagine if you've got the king or queen in the back of the car. You can't exactly be driving, you know, His or Her Royal Highness doing this. So, yeah, it's just it's just a funny story. I like to make lessons fun. People learn better when they're having fun. So I like to put funny little stories in like that. So, that is how you do clutch control. And I can't stress this enough. If you are not being taught clutch control like that, it's wrong. How do I know? If you want to know, please go and read the story on my website, firstdrive.com. When I learned to drive, I was taught the bad way. And when I became a driving instructor, I found out that's why I'd been having so many problems for years. It was a massive aha moment for me. So that's why I've had so much trouble. And I always remember the man who taught me that. And he was saying, you know, most instructors just don't know what they're doing. That's where it comes from. That's why I've got such a thing about gas clutch, because over the years I've met hundreds, and I'm not just saying that, it's true, hundreds of learners who've been taught incorrectly. I've had people in the car in tears, people who've been taught such rubbish. They've been to so-called great instructors, the best instructors, they always say on their website, everyone thinks they're the best, charging like £20 an hour. People think, oh, they're cheap, I'll get even cheaper with them, this is going to be good. They've spent over £1,000 and they come to me and they've got to go right back to the beginning. And it would have cost them far less to go with a very good instructor, charging a higher rate to begin with. I've had people who have spent over £10,000 on driving lessons and they've had to start from scratch with me. £10,000 on driving lessons. That was over the course of 20 years, in case you're wondering. Yes, £10,000 over 20 years they'd spent. And they still weren't ready for a test. They were nowhere near. Why? Because they've been taught it's absolute rubbish. I'm going to go this way. I might actually go the wrong way because there's some new roads here. But that's the whole point of this. I want to do some roads where I might have to do clutch control. I'm not that familiar. I know this area very, very, very well. But these roads on the right, I think this one comes out on that one. Because these are all quite new when you go in. These used to be dead ends. Now they're not. So we'll go in here. It says Medway Grove, but it's not a grove. It's not like it used to be. So again, the end of this road, I'll do clutch control. So I'll get there, I'll get to third. This gets people because the markings are so poor. Well, there are no markings. So I'll do mirrors, I'll signal, probably don't have to really about signal what to do signal anyway. 1, brake off, roll, 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 gas clutch. When I say I don't really have to signal there because there's no one around, that's advanced driving though. In advanced driving, depending on what test you're doing, you don't always signal if there is no one around because you don't. That's like higher level. If you signal when there's no one around even to turn, you can fail. I actually want to go back and see what's in that road, so I'm going to go around here and go back around. I'll do more clutch control. I want to see what's down that other road. So at the moment on my sat nav I'm driving through a field because the map's a bit old. So at the end of the road I'll go right. I wonder if it comes out there. Yeah, it probably does, but it does. So mirrors, signal, brake. I'm not going to stop, probably. Brake, clutch, steer, gear, roll. Can I go? Now this is there, I was braking softly towards the end. You don't always have to come off the brake and creep with the brake off, because there I was down a hill, and it's hard to tell hills on videos or in videos, but it was down a hill, so I just kept braking. I was playing with the brake like before, brake on, brake off, brake on, brake off, brake on, brake off, playing with the brake. So you get mirror signal, brake, you do clutch control here. Imagine I couldn't go, I can, but if I couldn't, I'll go 1, roll, gas clutch, creep, go. You wouldn't just stop dead. So notice how I'm barely stopping, and this is non-aggressive driving, it's positive driving. Positive driving is good driving, and you don't have to keep stopping. I'll go to this one. Was it this one I went last time, I think? Yeah, Medway Grove. So mirror signal turn. Again, imagine if I couldn't go here. That car's gone the other way, so I can show you this. I would do brake, nothing to begin with, try and go. If I can't go, clutch 1, brake off, roll, gas clutch, go. Notice that when was the last time I stopped? I can't remember. And this is something I've known driving instructors do. I've known instructors go out in pairs and they have it's a bit of an instructor challenge. You see how long you can not stop for, and you sort of time each other with stopwatch and see who can drive the longest without stopping. Now yes, it depends on traffic, you might get to a red light where it stays red for a minute and you've just got to stop. I wonder if this comes down the other road. I think it does, yeah it does. So I'm ready to hold back. I shouldn't have to because I'm in the zone, but that truck is there, that's the same truck as before. But I'll pull up here to end the video. I just wanted to see where that road went. When you pull up, brake, brake off, roll, creep, gas clutch, creep, 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 stop. That is how you do clutch control properly. So the key things are, you don't just stop at junctions. Where's the only place you have to stop? I did remember to tell you. Where is it? A stop sign, because a stop sign, so you got a white line on the floor and a stop sign, you must stop. You can creep after you've stopped, but you can't just creep up to those because it's a legal requirement to stop, and if you don't, you'll get a TS20 on your driving licence, which means you didn't stop at a stop sign, and you get 3 points and a fine for that. Maybe more depending on what happens, but the point is, you don't stop, you just brake off. So it's mirrors, signal, brake, clutch, steer, gear. You can change the order. That doesn't have to rigidly be steer gear, but normally would be. Nothing wrong with doing the gear earlier if you don't have to steer. For example, if it's a straight line you're going in and you're turning right, you might just go in a straight line, stop and give way to turn right. You do brake, clutch down, brake off before you stop, a few miles an hour on the speedo, gas clutch, creep, creep, look. If you really can't go, stop. Brake, clutch down together, handbrake on. You're not losing time because you tried to go, you couldn't go. You haven't lost anything. But don't just stop. If you've been taught to just stop at junctions, stop when you give way beyond cars like that. Stop when you do parallel parking. Stop when you do bay parking. Stop. Even if you pass, you're going to have such problems when you drive on your own. You probably won't pass anyone. If you do, you're just going to have no end of problems. And again, go and check the comments on my videos like gas and clutch. Loads of people saying I was taught to do that incorrectly and I had trouble when I passed, and my daughter, my son, whatever, couldn't do that. Loads and loads of proof on that video. So check out those other videos on the screen now. Thanks for watching. Visit my website firstdrive.com, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.